Yo, what's good, everybody? RJ Shelton here. Off the Top Show, episode 80. Got my boy T-Lip with me, per usual. Hopefully your guys' Friday is going great and all that good stuff. You had to be thrown off there. I was about to say something, my good brother. But what's going on, y'all? Obviously, you know what we do on here. We talk about sports events that happen within the sports world. So let's go ahead and tap right into it. Obviously, this Sunday, we got some good games going on from an NFL perspective. And obviously, we tap into college football as well. But let's go ahead and talk about the NFL first. We talk about the NFC North to make that our main focus in the NFL. But then we also obviously talk about key games within the weeks. So let's go week 6, man. We are week 6 of NFL football. NFC North here. First game that we got going on here. Both teams are 1-4. Minnesota Vikings versus Chicago Bears. This is a Super Bowl game for both teams. Obviously, you know what's going on with the Minnesota Vikings. JJ is out due to hamstring injury. Will be out to 4 weeks. Possibly might be even longer. Me and you both know about hamstrings and what that, entails and what goes on. But first and foremost, you hate seeing a guy of that caliber being out. Hopefully it's a speedy recovery for you, brother, because you are a pleasure to watch and you do impact this league for sure when you're in, and it's going to impact when you're out. But they got guys that can go in and step up and make plays, obviously, for the wide receiver room. Obviously, me and you both know about that very well. I'm excited to see this team come in. Obviously, you guys, one of your main targets out. Kirk Cousins has been throwing the football. He's always been throwing the football since he's got there. So I think, I tweeted this yesterday or added on to a tweet from someone talking about this, like, hey, we have an opportunity to go 5-4, and you do. You have an opportunity right here to go ahead and show to, America, hey, we were in the playoffs last year. We were a good football team last year. Obviously, now we don't have our best player out. Why not go ahead and shock the world and go ahead and show all those bags, tricks, and all those guys that you got that can play? Get them all involved. Run the ball. Obviously, TJ's been having a little up and down season. But get everybody involved. And I think if they do that, their D-line played unreal last weekend against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think with this team, just making most of their opportunities, just like any other team. But when it's time to capitalize, it's time to capitalize and move forward. But this is a big game for both teams. I know I went on the spiel about the Minnesota Vikings, but talk about the Bears on this one and kind of what they need to do to go ahead and get themselves in a position to go ahead and get where they've never been before.
Basically coming off their first win last week versus the Commanders. It was at the Commanders, won there. So they got their first win. The last 2 games, Justin Fields has looked better. He looked like he's seen the field a little better. You got your number one receiver on that team in the mix, in the motion. He coming off a game where he had 230 receiving yards, made some big plays, catching runs, Moss in the back of the end zone. Running game been doing decent. Outside of Justin Fields, like he hasn't had that game where he had 150 rushing yards yet, 100 yards rushing, 200 yards rushing. He had a 200-yard rushing game last year. Their offense seemed like it's getting a little better. You never know how it's gonna be, but if they continue to just do what they've been doing the last 2 games, and keep making the little improvements on offense, they're gonna be a tough matchup for the Vikings. Like everybody expect the Vikings to win because they are the Vikings and the Bears are the Bears. But it's going to be hard to go into Soldier Field and win. I think this is the last year that Soldier Field is there. I think this is the last year that Chicago is playing at Soldier Field. It's either this year or next year because they're moving the Bears from the Soldier Field to another stadium. So I think Justin Fields is going to have to come out and have a day. Sat home in front of your home crowd, coming off a road win. You definitely want to come back at home and win at home. So I think if the Bears come out, control the tempo of the game, make plays when they need to be made, make plays when they present themselves, and Justin Fields have a clean day, I think they can get the win. So we're going to have to see how that turns out, though. It can go either way, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a tight ball game. Feel my honest opinion about that. I think
Look at that tea right here, though.
Figured that was either in there, that or some water or something. Who knows what's up in that cup, boy, at
A good tea.
12:34. But no, I really think I really think that this still can be a game that can go either way. It's going to be a tough matchup, tight game. I think it's going to be, decided by a score. But whoever wins this game is definitely going to, be at that point where it's going to turn a new leaf over to where they're in the hunt to get into the playoffs. So that's why this is
It's
such
gonna
a
be
critical game.
it's gonna be a lot of opportunities, like you said, for the wide receivers to step up and make plays this game. You got one of the best receivers in the game out. He's gonna be out for a mandatory 4 weeks now. So you have guys like, Tristan gonna come in, he can make some plays, gonna get some reps. You got guys like Addison. He's gonna be the more focal point on offense now. You got Osborne. I think they promoted Harry as well.
You have Harry. They got Powell as well. They got guys. So it's
Yeah,
time
so
to
they
throw
have
the
a lot
ball
of
around.
guys that have opportunities to make plays. They're going to have the opportunity to make plays, and they're going to have 4 weeks of opportunities to make plays because the ball got to go somewhere. So
Right.
I'm excited to see how that turn out for them, though. But you said they can be four. You said they can be 5-4 in these 4 games off.
I did say that,
That's
brother.
crazy. That's something to say when they done
It
lost four
is.
games with the best
It
player
is.
the best player on their team on the field. Now he's off the field and they're gonna win 4 straight. Who they got? I see the
Right.
Bears, 49ers, Packers, and the Falcons.
Hey, I said what I
Hey,
said,
I
brother.
seen things happen though. I've seen things happen. So I'm not gonna say it can't happen, but I got
Granted,
what you're
though, they
saying.
have probably one of the toughest October schedules, but who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
But no, that's a big game. But I'm excited to see, obviously, what shakes out. And then moving on over to another team that's playing because the Packers played on Monday night. Obviously, they lost to the Raiders. Detroit Lions are heading to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go ahead and face the Bucks in Tampa. Team is 3-1. I think Baker Mayfield's out for the season, right? Or is he?
No, Baker Mayfield, he playing.
Is he playing? Okay. Well, I don't know if he was hurt or not, but neither there or then. So Detroit Lions 4-1. I expect them to come in, do what they do, dominate obviously in the run game, take care of things on the back end from a defensive perspective. Jordan Goff obviously making the right plays, right reads to go ahead and score points. I can see this being another, two-score game. I mean, two-score game to where they're up, beating this team. Easy. I said this last
Who?
week. People looked at
Who?
the Lions beating the Tampa Bay
By 2 scores?
by 2 scores.
Okay.
Granted, I know the Tampa Bay's defense is good, but I truly think of just going through stats, going through numbers, especially just from a running back standpoint when I do the individual ones, obviously just on my page and everything. They have probably one of the best offensive lines in the NFL as of right now. And I think that is going to take them a long way, and they rely on that because that gives Goff time, gives Montgomery going ahead and running the ball for at least 80 yards a game on average. Have the pieces from a wide receiver perspective and St. Brown doing what needs to be done. This is a solid football team. This is a
Yeah.
well-coached football team. They have all the pieces. They know what they're going to do. This team gives me like how they're structured and the players and the personnel that they have. This gives me like a 49ers type team. I'm not saying that they're the 49ers. I'm just saying how they're structured and what they do and get everyone involved from a running back, quarterback, wide receiver position. They have the pieces to go ahead and be a good football team. In this game, I think this is going to be 2 scores for sure.
Okay.
And it's not like their defense is not bad either. Defense is good too. So, but go on, keep going.
Yeah. I think these two teams are very similar in a lot of ways. I think first off, we have two former number one picks at quarterback that's on their next team, in the next chapter of their lives, and trying to uplift two different franchises. One coming off, the Lions ain't been to the playoffs in a long time, and then another one coming off a Super Bowl win just a couple years ago. Like he's coming right after Tom Brady and Baker Mayfield. I think these teams are very similar. Like they're not quarterback oriented. They're more built around the quarterback, the weapons on the perimeter, um, Bucks have a decent offensive line. Of course, they can get a little better, but they're missing some guys and injuries. They obviously Ryan Jensen's out for the whole year. Yeah,
Right.
he's out, but they have Worfs. He's a All Pro offensive tackle, and that's usually all you need on offensive line. They still got their guys on defense. They still got their secondary: Whitner, Davis, Dean, White. Um, what's the other linebacker name? Levante David trained with him. Like they still have those guys, and they built around their quarterback. So I think this is a sleek, great matchup. I think this is going to be one of the best games this weekend as well. Them going down to the Buccaneers. They're both 3-1. They're both like kind of surprised in the NFL right now. I mean, obviously people thought the Lions would be, good, but they didn't think they would be this good or, at this point of the time, they're being like one of the highly ranked teams to potentially win the division and make it to the playoffs. And I don't think nobody thought the Bucs was going to be where they are right now. So I think these teams are very similar. And if the Lions don't go down there and like take the win, I think the Bucs could easily win this game. I don't think it's just like a definite win in the Lions' part. Of course, I want the Lions to win from the D. I want the Lions to win as well. But I don't think this game is going to be. I don't think it's going to be a 2-score game at all. I don't think either one of the teams are going to win by 2 score. I think it's going to be a tighter game, a 24-17. It's going to be one of them smash mouth games. I feel like because both of these quarterbacks don't really necessarily push the ball down the field. So it's going to be a physical game. I can see that. Bucks at home. I don't think they played last week. Oh, I can be wrong about that, but I just think it's gonna be more evenly matched up than you think. I think this is gonna be like one of the best games this weekend. So I'm glad they moved it up to 4 o'clock because I think it was at 1 o'clock at first. They moved it up to 4 o'clock. They should have moved it to the Sunday night game because I think the Bills and the Giants play on Sunday night. And don't nobody want to see the Giants, man. So, but I think it's gonna be a good game. I'm gonna take the Lions, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks win.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely hear you on that. But then let's go into obviously games outside of the NFC North here. I'm just going to ramble off some key ones. You already kind of said a key one, but I think the Bills are going to go ahead and take that one. They're on a hot streak right now, and I think that connection with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs is about to be enlightened even more due to obviously JJ being out. And I think Diggs is definitely – we're going to get in obviously top fives as of right now, but what I said there, that game, way too much firepower for the Giants. I feel that's going to be that might be a blowout, to be honest. Could get ugly very fast. But other games here, we have Ravens versus Titans, Saints versus Texans. That might be a good little one at noon for sure. Obviously, you got the Vikings versus the Bears at noon. Commanders versus Falcons. That'll be a good little game. Seahawks versus Bengals. That'll be a very good game as well. That's a divisional. Is that a divisional game? I don't think so. No, but that'll be two good teams playing against each other. Seahawks versus the Bengals. Bengals coming off of that win against the Arizona Cardinals. Jamar Chase getting back on track. I know he had over like 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he's probably ready to go ahead, and he had posted at one time, it was like 7-11, like I'm always open. We already saw that good old interview, which was a classic.
I'm always fucking open.
Absolutely. That's what I would have said. And then 49ers versus the Browns. That might be a good one or it could get ugly. I know that actually, no, Watson's out. 49ers would probably be too much for them. Listed a handful that are pretty good. Was there any that you wanted to go ahead and kind of talk about or ones that you should be on the lookout for besides obviously NFC North?
Not really. I'll probably say, like you said, the Bengals and the Seahawks, that's going to be a good game. I want to see how the Bengals are going to play this week. This is the week before the bye week. How they going to play? I mean, we see how the last time we seen the Seahawks was on Monday Night Football, and their defense was rocking out there with Weatherspoon and Diggs. Shout out to the guy, Quandre. All love. Diggs and Jamal Adams, he came back. I don't think he's gonna play this week, but who knows? But they whole defense rocking, the offense making plays. Geno Smith making some throws.
Mm-hmm.
Geno Smith making some throws. Weatherspoon, the rookie from Illinois. I remember talking about him months ago, and I was like, bro, that dude got it, bro. He gonna come up and thump your shit, and he gonna lock you up. And he had 2 sacks. What corner? What corner you know had 2 sacks, bro, in like 3 TFLs? Come on, bro.
Yeah, no,
And a pick
that's
six.
even that's crazy.
So that's a game. That's a game I'll say right there to check out for. I got a question for you though.
Right,
Obviously, as you look at the list of the because we kind of already did the game of the week, which we think is the game of the week. Said the Lions, the Bucks, and the Bengals and the Seahawks.
right.
What game on the schedule do you think is a trap game alert for one of these teams?
You said already like the trap game because that is kind of a trap game for the Lions for
All right,
sure.
picking up, picking
I'm gonna
up.
pick. I think, to be honest, especially with this is a trap game. I think the Ravens are in a trap game at Tennessee. Tennessee is a very good football team. They have Derrick Henry. Hello, he runs
I
the
think
football.
it's in London. I think they're in London.
Are they in London?
Yeah.
Let me see here.
No, y'all they're in London.
Yep.
Yeah, they play at 9:30. So
But I think that right there is a sleeper due to obviously last weekend for the Ravens not getting everything intact from an offensive perspective. I don't know what's going on with Lamar, to be honest, but he can't be doing what he's doing because that last game that I saw was not it. And on top of that, Tennessee Titans, this is like one of those like they won. I'm taking they won last week possibly if they're 2-3 because I thought they were 1-3. But anyways, I think for the Tennessee Titans running the football, obviously with Derrick Henry, if they get that going and obviously doing play action with obviously getting the ball to Hopkins, I think it's too much. And the Ravens really don't have anything on defense from a corner position. And last time I
yeah.
saw Pickens was running by their best corner. So I think this is going to be a trap game here for the Ravens for sure.
Okay. And Hopkins had 8 receptions for 140 last week. Yeah. So that's something to think about. I like that pick. I'm gonna go with a slick trap game. I'm gonna go with the Colts and Jaguars. We have seen, and even the Jaguars. I mean, the Colts don't even got their starting quarterback. Richardson out for at least 4 to 8 weeks with a shoulder injury on his throwing shoulder, so he's out. But Minshew, remember when Minshew started the game versus the Ravens and went into Baltimore and won as Minshew with the starter. And with Zach Moss in the backfield and with Jonathan Taylor going to get more carries this week, and with the weapons they have on the outside, and with the Jaguars being this team that they can kind of let up. You feel me? Like they lost a game early this year to Texans at their own house where they got their ass beat. They lost to Texans, yeah, at home, 37-7. So this is a game you would think the Jags is going to win. Backup quarterback playing on the opposite team. They at home. You think, oh, well, the Jags, this definitely is money line Jaguars, and they're gonna fuck your whole money line up because because that's just the type of team the Jaguars are right now. They haven't established that level of dominance to where like, okay, they might show up for the big games, for the bigger games. You know, they might show up in some of these bigger games. But are you going to win the games that you supposedly win? They haven't did that yet. So I think this is a trap game for the Jaguars.
I like that. It's a good pick. That definitely can happen. And kind of just stay here with obviously the NFL thing. We got some discussions to do. I think we can definitely do this within the week 6 or just of our time being on this podcast and talking. Obviously, you came to me about this question. RJ, who is your top 5 wide receivers right now in the NFL?
Nope.
And I got, or top 5 or top 10 or of all time?
No. Who are the number ones?
Oh, who are the
Who,
number ones?
and like how many? Like how many? Whoever you think are number one receivers, like number ones.
No, I know what you mean by number ones.
This was the conversation was going on Twitter yesterday, and I jumped into the
Okay,
conversation. So I wanted to see what you got and who
number
you said.
ones. And I know what you're talking about from a football perspective of like number ones. Like, this is the main guy. This is the guy
Yeah,
that does everything.
I ain't talking about DJ Moore.
Okay,
But
cool.
shout out to DJ Moore, but I ain't
Shout
talking
out
about
to
the DJ.
him, though. No,
Yeah,
well, I mean, number one, without any hesitation for me, JJ is number one. Granted that he's out. That's my number one for sure. That's a number one. Um, I'm also going to put, this is no order. Obviously, it's just number one wide receivers when I think of a number
yeah.
one wide receiver. Tyreek Hill for sure, Miami Dolphins. He's definitely a number one. He's the fastest player on that field, and there's no way you're catching him ever. And you have seen that with your own eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and carry on with that. Let's see here. Stephon Diggs is a number one wide receiver. Can run any, and all these guys that I'm going to be saying all can run the route tree, all can get off of, any type of what they need to do when it comes off to getting guys off, they get open. So Stephon Diggs for sure. I am going to put, obviously he had a monster game. Cooper Kupp is back. He's definitely a number one.
Okay.
Uh, and then Jamar Chase, I think he's a number one for sure. Granted, where he's at with having two other wide receivers that are very good. Okay, not knocking what those brothers have, and always never knocking what anybody has. But Jamar Chase is a number one due to him, how he can run routes, obviously being able to get open. He's definitely a number one. And then, to be honest with you, it's another one. I was like, I'm between like Debo Samuel or Ayuke. Like, is Debo a number one? I mean, granted, he is a Swiss Army knife who can do everything. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. It's a different. But those ones that I had mentioned earlier are definitely number ones. Keenan Allen's
Devontae.
definitely on there. Devontae Adams is number
Devontae.
one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You put Keenan Allen on there?
I will put Keenan. Yes, I'm putting Keenan Allen there for sure.
Okay. Okay. AJ Brown?
He's not a number one.
Ooh.
I'm taking Smith. I'm taking Smith over Brown. Yes.
Hey, you hold that thought. Hey, we gotta dive into that one. We gonna dive into
I
that one.
feel so.
Okay, so you named six
Granted that
guys.
he is featured, but no, I like Smith's game over AJ Brown's. They're
So
both great wide receivers.
you think Smith would you think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense would be dope if they had Smith as their number one receiver and like let's say they drafted Addison from USC and they had Smith as their number one. You think this offense would still be as productive? You think Devontae Smith would still be as productive as he is without AJ Brown on the other side of him? Who you think garners the most attention on the Eagles wide receiver? Devontae Smith or AJ Brown?
Right now,
Yeah. Or last year, right now, since they've been on the team.
I would say right now it would be more towards Smith because games that I've seen where it's been with AJ Brown, right? He's been one-on-one. They're not sending help his way. Granted, if he gets off, you know what I'm saying, in the second half, first half, I haven't seen where he's been double covered. I haven't seen where, you know what I'm saying, he's been, okay, well, do you see that they got cover three or they got man, but they got a guy over, safety's over to go ahead and be over the top, so he's not going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Granted, last year around the time of Super Bowl where he did catch that pass where he was double covered, but he was eating that game.
Yeah.
and he was eating that whole season. I think with
Okay.
Smith, when it comes down to it, when he mainly plays inside. I understand that, but I feel if AJ Brown was not here, they have the same team from a defense, from Jalen Hurts running all that. I think there would be no steps missing if Smith was outside being a number one wide receiver, and he would definitely be a guy that he would be more than capable of being a number one.
So you think if the Eagles had Devontae Smith on one side and Kadarius Toney on the other side, that offense would still be as dominant as it is with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith? Or
Who's
do you think the production of Devontae Smith will supersede as like him? He's the number one guy, no matter who on the other side of him. You think that's what Devontae Smith is?
absolutely?
Okay. Okay. I just love perspective. I like how you broke it down.
Cause the thing is like you trying to, cause people get it so twisted. You trying to tell me CD Lamb is a number one wide receiver right now? When he has entered the league, what has he done? And has he drawn double teams? Has he done this? Has he done that? No, he hasn't been consistent enough. How is he even a number one? Like I don't. It's number one. It's very hard to do number ones because there's really not a lot of them. Like
Yeah.
realistically, if
You got
you
it wrong.
like,
You said six. You named six of them. And then you threw Keenan Allen in there a little bit as well. So you
I
probably
will
threw
put
about
Mike
six.
Evans. I'll put Mike Evans in there. Like
Okay.
I'll put Mike Evans. I'll go and put Hopkins because these guys all played with different quarterbacks and they all got over 1,000 yards each season. You got guys that are on a team for 3 years. They can't even get 1,000 yards in one season. AKA, not to point the elephant in the room, CeeDee Lamb, does he have 1,000 yards with Prescott? Maybe one out of his 3 years.
Last year I think he had like 1,200.
But
But I
that's the
think that
first time.
yeah. Other years he had like, let me see for sure.
But yeah, no,
Uh,
like I can throw, yeah. So I have
he
what? I have,
he had
go ahead.
935 his rookie year, 1,100 in 2021, and he had 1,359 yards last year.
Okay.
So he's
Still
been around.
numbers.
He's been around that 1,000 yard area. He had 2,000 yard season so far though.
This is it's a hard debate when you talk about like who are the number ones and it gets slimmer because like I'm not when I said Mike Evans and I'm saying Allen, right? I'm talking about guys that been in, for first off, Evans, he's had multiple and different QBs come in and still managing to have 1,000 yards. Keenan Allen's obviously been with the Chargers all of his basically playing career, but that's a guy like physically when he's on the field and it's one-on-one, you're not stopping him from getting the ball because when he's on, he's on. The man had 18 receptions for 200 and some yards. Clearly, he's definitely number one. But it's just so many factors and so many different ways you can talk about being a number one because you got to talk about systems. You got to talk about quarterbacks. You got to talk about, where you are with your own career individually wise and what you're bringing to the NFL because that's a big factor as well. So it's
Yeah.
like there's so much things that factor into it, but I think the guys that I listed are definitely true number ones. I think that list that I gave is definitely good for sure.
No, I like the list for sure. I mean, I asked that question because obviously there was some things going on Twitter yesterday, and
Yeah.
Richard Sherman tweeted like, well, he was on Undisputed and he said that he doesn't think CeeDee Lamb is a number one receiver, like a true number one receiver. And this is how I agree with him because I don't think CeeDee Lamb is a true number one receiver either. This is how I look at a number one receiver. I look at a number one receiver like if you go to another team, are you still gonna be that guy?
Mm-hmm.
No matter the system, I want to say a little bit no matter the quarterback. You feel me? I want to say a little bit no matter the quarterback, but it matters with the quarterback as well. But if you that guy, you can play with a B level quarterback, a C level quarterback. You gonna still get yours unless your just quarterback just fucking terrible, and that ain't happening in today's age because the quarterback the level of the play of quarterback has risen because of so much 7-on-7. I ain't about to get into all that shit. I just look at it like that. Like, how much are we worried about you during the season? Like every game, like how when we playing you, we gotta as he circle, we need to know where he's at on third downs all the time. We need to know. We need to like, are you a part of the game plan? And like the part, not a part, the part. So I think this is my I think it's 7 or 8 guys. Like and there's gonna be some guys on there. I'm like they are number one, but like they're not the number one level players right now. But they whole career they've been number one guys. Like you said, Keenan Allen. Like I think he's a number one, but right now he's not a crazy number one. But he's still a number one. You feel me? But
Right.
this is what I'm saying. This is my
I'm ready to
list.
hear. I'm ready to hear this list because.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Go
go.
ahead.
I'm gonna go Justin Jefferson, of course. J. Jeff. I'm gonna turn around to go Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, AJ Brown. Those are my 7 number one receivers that I have in the league right now. I mean, number ones.
That's
Right
respectable.
now. Right
That's
now. Like
respectable.
number one. I understand Mike Evans' career and what he done. And I'm not saying he's not number one because he's been a guy that's had 1,000 yards for like damn near like 9 consecutive seasons. So yes, he's number one. He's a guy. That's who he is. But I'm talking about like straight crazy dominant right now. And these are the guys that I think changes offense when they go to other teams. If any of these guys went to a new team next year, they're gonna change the complexity of that offense. They're gonna change the outlook damn near probably of that franchise. That's what I look like as a number one receiver. Just clutch. You gotta know where he at on third down. They making catches, clutch catches. They dominate in the red zone. In the red zone, you gotta know where they at. Third down, you gotta know where they at. You gotta know where they at on fucking first down because they can take a slant all the way to the crib. All these guys I just named can take a slant to the crib. Not saying other guys cannot take a slant to the crib, but these guys right here, it can be a normal first down, second and 15. They can catch a damn storm route, fade route, and go for 70. No matter what coverage you in, no matter what the situation is, they can make the situation about them and take over that situation. So when I said like I look at it like, bro, I like how people, is number one wide receiver, the number one wide receiver. Like, bro, it's a lot of guys that's not number one wide receivers. I don't think CD Lamb is the number one wide receiver. Cause is Brandon Cooks the number one wide receiver? He had a lot of seasons over 1,000 yards. But that don't make you a number one wide receiver. It makes you consistent. But it's a different, like nobody's double teaming Brandon Cooks. Did anybody double team CD Lamb? I seen him in one-on-one coverage a lot, and he don't be winning sometimes. You put any of these guys I just said in one-on-one coverage, they're gonna fucking win. They're gonna win. These are guys on 3rd and 10. You got them on your team. The seven I just named, even if they double team, they can make a play. And they can do it consistently. Not every other 4 or 5 games. I'm talking about consistently. No matter who's the other receiver on the other side. But you might have another good receiver on the other side because that's just the development of the NFL. That's just how the development of the skill of the players, the talent, it has risen. It rises every like 4 years. But now we are at such an age where 7-on-7 has took the development and the skill level of skilled players to another level. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
they know how to play on islands more. They know how to play in the field more. They know how to do these things more. So that was just a debate yesterday. I was on Twitter and I chimed in and said, I don't think CeeDee Lamb is the number one wide receiver. But hey, CeeDee Lamb, if you feel like you a number one, I'm not saying he weak or anything like that. I'm not saying he,
Right.
don't garner no attention. I'm just saying, like, bro, when I think of a number one wide receiver, I think of Justin Jefferson. I think of Stephon Diggs. I think of Devontae Adams. I think of Tyreek Hill. I think of Jamar Chase. I don't fully think of Mike Evans right now. I know what he's done. And I'm not saying he's not been a number one receiver his entire career, but I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about whatever. So I mean it's just my opinion though. My opinion don't, it is what it is. But
Yeah, that's what it is with everybody's opinion. But no, that's a
yeah,
good one though. I like that. Because it's a real debate, and you can sit here and talk about that for days because people that are football junkies and have went through it, like when a true number one breaks the huddle, you're like, oh shit, let me go ahead and
yeah,
tighten up real quick.
you
Let me
you
go,
know, bro.
let me go ahead
You
and
know.
tighten
Like
up real
bro,
quick.
a true number one is not
Right.
played one on one on 3rd and 10.
No.
Bro, if you one on one any of them guys, it's a fucking wrap, bro. You one on one Tariq. We see it. We see it every time. I just seen. What's in the I just seen the Giants put a rookie on I think I don't even know if it was the 1st and 10, 2nd and 10. It was one. It was one of them. A rookie on Tariq Hill, one on one, ran right past him for 60 yards. That's the number one. Another
Yeah.
receiver just catch the ball and get 25 yards. But I mean, it's just something to talk about, bro. I just
No, I like that.
I'm a wide receiver at the core, at the heart. So I like to talk about the wide.
Absolutely. We're always going to talk about the wideouts. And then let's move on obviously over to some more football. Obviously, I'm going reverse here. I don't know why I do it, but whatever. College football, obviously, on Saturday. Big games over West. Oregon versus Washington, number 8, number 7. It's at 2:30
Mm.
p.m. That'll be a big game. Both quarterbacks. That's a battle right there to kind of show who's the better one heading into this draft. USC versus Notre Dame, 6:30 p.m. That's going to be a big game. A lot of hype behind it, but I think USC is going to go in there and, Caleb Williams show. And then obviously there's a game during the USC Notre Dame game, UCLA versus Oregon State. And I know Michigan State, obviously, our Spartan Dogs play the Knights. Get back on track and see some plays being made and guys finding the football. So we can obviously talk about this, brother, but if you have anything when it comes to the college football, talk to me.
That Oregon Washington game is gonna be big because I just think whoever wins this game is gonna be the team that make it to the playoff. Whoever wins this game between one of those teams, they're gonna be the ones to make it to the playoffs. I don't see Michigan and Ohio State making it into the playoff. I know Ohio State number 3, but I think their quarterback is gonna make mistakes and it's gonna cause some question. How the college football is. Of course they got the brand of Ohio State and they want Ohio State to make it to there. But if they have some close games and then get fucking lose to Michigan again, or you feel me, they're gonna have to beat Michigan in order to get into the playoff. They're gonna have to win that game to get into the playoff. And like I said, the Oregon Washington game, I think it's played out of Washington, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
Yes, I believe it is at Washington.
that's gonna be a big game. That's gonna be a big game. I think both of them coming off bye weeks. It's gonna be a big game, and the team that win this game is gonna be the one to make it to the playoff. So I'm excited to watch it at 3:30. Yeah, I'm tuning in a little bit. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to watch that one. That's gonna be a big game.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good one. Probably going to watch the Spartans play for a little bit, obviously the whole game, and then turn that one on after. short and quick, obviously, was college football there. Let's move on, obviously, over to the NBA seasons here. Preseason games been going on ever since the beginning of October.
Ooh.
It's going down. But you had sent me a list here that I think we definitely can spend the rest of today talking about. Obviously, we've all seen the ESPN players' rankings, the 1 through 100. I have right in front of me here 1 through 10. So I'm just going to go over it real quick. And obviously, we're going to go ahead and talk about and break that down there. So we have Giannis Antetokounmpo at number 1, Jokic at number 2, Embiid at number 3, Luka at 4, Curry at 5, Tatum at 6, Durant at 7, Jair, jeez, Alexander at number 8 from OKC, which is wowzers to me. LeBron James at number 9, and Anthony Davis at number 10. Okay, so when I first got this, obviously, text message from you, I went ahead and looked at it. I'm like, all right. Anytime that I see a top 10 player, like top 10 players in the league, and I don't see LeBron James as number 1 on any of those, makes me question really a lot of what we know about basketball from just a very basic level. Okay, very basic level. I just like to go ahead and get stats and just give numbers out because I think numbers never lie and never have. So let's just go ahead and go over LeBron James's attributes, what he's done. Okay, well, really, I don't even need to go ahead and look at it. What he had 4 rings, right? 4 rings. He's the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. He's about to be the all-time leading scorer in probably every category before it's done. And I don't get really when it's a common sense thing when someone scores the most points out of anything, regardless if it's the most touchdowns. Well, I mean, granted, that's different. But if basketball in this situation, if a man has the most points out of anyone that has ever played this game, wouldn't you think that he'd probably be the number 1 player in the NBA?
Arguably.
I get arguments, but I mean, and you already seen this. What Magic Johnson said about Steph Curry, right? That whole comparison, right? Well, if it's he ain't got enough rings, got enough this, that, and the third, he's not better than me. No one in this list has done what LeBron James has done. That is guys ahead of him. Guys hadn't even been into the finals. Guys haven't even made it into the second round of the NBA playoffs. And you have this man at number 9. You have shot in front of LeBron James. That makes no sense to me. You have Steph Curry. That's an argument, but no. LeBron James. Embiid ain't done nothing but won some MVPs. Jokic, he's won 1. That's the
Joker
type of
got
person. Oh, he's got 2. Okay, he's got 2.
Embiid.
But
Embiid
that's
got.
the Giannis obviously has 1, but Giannis is not nowhere compared to what LeBron James has ever done. He has a long time for that to go ahead and be one of those attributes. I'm a guy that is based off numbers and what you've done in this league. How many championships? Number 1. That's what I'm always going to base it off of. And this is just me talking about it because we are rolling in the NBA season. So I don't want to hear all this, that, and the third. RJ's no. This is what I base it off of. I base it off of championships. I base it off what you've done in the playoffs. And I base it off of what accolades that you have done throughout your whole season. None of these guys have done what LeBron James has done. So he's at number 1. Then I will go ahead and probably follow up with that. And which is crazy to me, Kyrie should be in here. Like, I don't understand where people are not thinking that Kyrie is not a good basketball player. It's crazy. And I was talking about this with Obi. It's crazy what the media has done to him or portrayed him to be. It's crazy to see that because once we have lists like this, it makes no sense because people that know basketball, that Kyrie is really one of them ones. Like, arguably can be top 5. And if you want my own opinion, he's in my top 5 for sure. He can do whatever on that court that no one can. He can go ahead and post up a 7-foot guy, shoot it over, boom. He can go ahead and shoot a 3. He creates his own shot. We can get into that. But back to this list, I have no idea why LeBron James is at number 9. That's the main focal, like the main thing that I see when I looked at this. And then you have Kyrie Irving at 31. You're trying to tell me that, let's see here, basketball junkie. You think Drew Holiday is better than Kyrie Irving? Can we keep it real, brother? Can you please tell me no? Please. Because I would like to know who at ESPN and whoever they sat at the round table in an office meeting went ahead and put Drew Holiday. I love Drew Holiday, don't get me wrong. But Drew Holiday is nowhere near Kyrie Irving.
Not at all.
And just looking at this list, besides that, Gilgeous-Alexander is getting so much love in here. I guess he just goes to the playoffs and now he's just top 10. He's a great player. Well, right, he didn't even go to the playoffs. Well, there it is. That case is closed there. He is a great player, but he's definitely not in this list top 10 wise right now. He
Over
might be
D Book?
and I don't know where that hatred's coming to. Like they got like Booker dropped 33 last year. It was giving people headaches. Granted, he didn't do anything in the playoffs because there is a difference between a regular season player and a playoff player. You're going to hear that a lot on this podcast. I don't know where else we hear, any other stuff when it comes to NBA, but there are regular season players in the NBA and there are playoff players in the NBA. But I was talking too much, obviously, here because you got me off my rocker with this LeBron James being at 9. You tell me a little bit about this list and when you first saw it. And there was a lot of wild, like that 1 through 100 list is crazy, but his top 10s is nuts too. But go ahead and talk to me about this, man.
It's kind of hard doing the 1 through 100 list because what you would say 14 guys on each team, and it's 30 teams. So it's basically like 450 guys on the NBA roster. Then you got the top 100. You got 5 starters.
Right.
What's that? 150? 5 starters times 30. Yeah, 150 starters. And you got 100 guys. Obviously, got to be starters if you're on the list, right?
I would hope. God.
Hey, I don't even know at this point. You never know.
I'm about to bring the list up right now while you talking, man. It's crazy.
I've seen ESPN do ratings. I think NBA TV did a rating. CBS did a rating. I seen one where like Brown was like number 16. You feel me? They had. I seen Jimmy. They had Jimmy Butler in the top 10. This list right here, I would make some changes. It's just some guys. Like I want to say Giannis is the best player in the league right now, but I think Joker is. I think what he did last year, I think he has to be the best player in the league right now, coming off of last year. Because obviously it's about last year and maybe the year before that, but basically last year. It can't be the year before that because Shea Alexander in this list. And even AD in this list. Like, think about that. Think about all the disrespect Anthony Davis has gotten over the years, and now he's considered a top 10 player in the NBA. So it has to go from last year, from what we know. I will put Joker at number 1. I will put Giannis at number 2. I would keep Embiid at number 3, coming off the MVP year. And just Embiid, he's a dominant guy. He has a skill set. He has his thing. I think he can win a championship. Who knows if it ever happened? We don't know. I like Luka at 4. I want to see a more dominant year from Luka this year. I don't know what they do. Like, you can't be missing the playoffs. Just think of LeBron James missing the playoffs in the prime of his career.
Never did.
Like, the next few years, Luka is going to be the preseason MVP pick for a lot of people.
Right.
Because he's stepping into this more controlled prime now. Like, he didn't been in the league for what? I think this 5 years? Damn near 5 years at this point. So now he's entering another layer of his greatness. And now I want to see that consistent layer. I want to see him make players around him better, which makes the team better. I don't think he makes the team better like that right now, but I think he is a great player. I think Luka is a great player, so I like him at the 4 spot. The 5 has Steph Curry at the 5. It's kind of tough because I like Tatum and I like what Tatum has been doing. I like his game, his consistency of his game. Like he's one of those forward guys that applies pressure. He been applying pressure for like the last ever since he got in the league. Honestly, like they was in the league early when he was in the league. They was in the Eastern Conference Finals, and he was the best player on the team. So he's been a applying pressure type of guy, and he's been a leading scorer, all-star starter for sure. Like he's him and Luka is creeping into that. Like next year, they probably gonna be top 3, top 4. They gonna be in that window.
They
So
might even be 1 or 2, depending on this season. Because guys,
it
their
depends.
teams are loaded.
Who know how Joker gonna play this year? You feel me? Who knows
Right.
with all his shit going on? Um, I like Tatum at the 5 spot, but he gotta take it. You feel what I'm saying? Like they put Steph Curry right there because it's Steph, and you know Steph is Steph. But I think after this year, Steph is gonna move back a slot. I think Jason Tatum. Me personally, I think Jason Tatum means more. Shit. I think Jason
Oh,
Tatum means more to his team than
yeah.
Steph means to his team because I think the Celtics are a better team and he's the best player on that team, and he's gonna lead them further than the Steph is gonna lead the Warriors. If that makes sense for the people that can get my drift.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I will put Jason Tatum in the 5 spot. I will move Curry to the 6 spot. 7 spot, Kevin Durant. The way they be talking about Kevin Durant, it's like, damn, it's 6 players that's better than KD in the league right now. The way they be talking about KD, bro, they be talking about KD like, man, he is amazing. But then they do the list and he be at number 7. It's like, Tatum in front of KD already. So I'll be fighting with that a little bit. And then you got Shea. I don't think Shea is a better player than LeBron James. Like, no. I don't think he's a better player than Anthony Davis either. No. So if anything, he should be 10, just creeped into the 10. Just according to this list right here. I'm not moving nobody in or like that. I'm just putting it on directly on this list. I think Shea is good, bro. I think he's pretty good. But like I said, the league get better every year, and every year is different, and you're gonna have to do that shit again, and you're gonna have to show that you can do that shit under any circumstance. The Thunder ain't gonna creep up on nobody this year. The Thunder are not gonna creep up on nobody this year. People are gonna walk into the arena knowing like, hey, bro, this ain't no game off. These little young bucks good. We gotta beat their ass. Let's see what type of Thunder team we see then. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Shea was in like the top 3 scoring last year. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he won the scoring title last year. I don't know.
I
If
think
not,
Book
if he
did
didn't
because I
win it,
think Devin Booker did.
I don't know.
Trying to see.
But if anything, he was in the top 3. So just according to this list, I think he should be at 10. Anthony Davis should be at 9, and LeBron should be at 8. So I think the list should go like this. This is my list. And this is the list, period. Just according to this. Because we can make an argument on anybody that should be in this top 10. Who would be the argument that should be in this top 10? Is it Jimmy Butler? I don't think Jimmy Butler does enough in the regular season to be in his top 10. I don't think his numbers are that great in the regular season to be in the top 10. So no. Dame? No. Kyrie? Nah. Um, who else is like right there on that? Anthony Edwards? I seen a list where he was at number 13. D Book? They had a bunch of guys over D Book, bro. But I think I seen another list where Donovan Mitchell was over him. So I'm gonna just go on this list right here. I think this is a pretty accurate list. I think these are the honchos of the league. I definitely think that. But I'm gonna go. This is my list. I'm gonna go Giannis. I'm gonna go Joker at number 1. I'm gonna go back to front. I'm gonna go Shea at 10. I'm gonna move Shea to 10 because he ain't. I don't care what you did last year. You gotta do that shit. You gotta do that shit at least 3 more years to jump people. Like, no, fuck that. And the playoffs matter. He was not a better player than Anthony Davis, knowing what Anthony Davis did in the playoffs last year. And to end the season last year, he wasn't at all. I don't want to hear it. I'm gonna go Shea. I'm gonna go Anthony Davis at 9. I'm gonna go Brian at 8, bro. I'm gonna go Brian at 8. Of course, I'm a Brian guy. I think he should be, but um the regular season means a lot. And some of these guys are more dominant in the regular season than LeBron is. At this point. Like his 30 points, his 28 points this game, it's heavy, but it ain't heavy like it used to be. Like if you place 2017 LeBron on these Lakers right here, stop fucking playing with me. Stop playing. Championship for the next 5 years. Easy. So a lot of these other guys hold a little bit more weight. So I'm gonna just keep Anthony LeBron at number 8. I'm gonna put KD at 7. If you're the best player in the world, go show it. Get up to number 1. That's what it is. Then I'm gonna go Steph Curry at 6. Cause it's hard being a top 5 player and you 35 and your team might not make the playoffs this year. And you're gonna have to do some spectacular shit for your team to, win. So I'm gonna put Steph Curry at 6. I'm gonna put Tatum at the 5 spot. Because Tatum has been on that, been on that level. He's been on that top 5 level for the last couple years for sure. I'm gonna put Luka at the 4 spot. I think Luka fits right there. I think he can jump into Luka can jump into the top 3, or he can jump back 3 spots. That's what Luka is. It just depends on how well he can make his teammates better and make the Mavericks better. That's what that's gonna be. That's his next step. Because we know he can score and get any shot he wants, shoot, clutch, all that shit. Now can you will your team to win like you do over there when you overseas? Because you be doing that shit. So I'm put Luka at the 4 spot. I'm gonna put Joel at the 3 spot. Come out the MVP year. I'm sure he's motivated this year, especially with all the offseason shit that's been going on there. We're gonna see how it turns out for them this year. I'm gonna put Giannis at the 2 spot. If you want to be the number 1 guy, you gotta go take it this year. You gotta go back and take it. That's just the NBA. That's just sports, period. You gotta go back and take it. And I'm gonna go with Joker at number 1. I'm gonna go with Joker at number 1.
It's not a bad list. That's realistic, though. More obviously with me, I said numbers wise, I'm always gonna respect the OGs. But anyways, that's a crazy list. But that's realistic, though. NBA is around the corner. Regular season's gonna be starting up here. Well, we got 2 more weeks, if that. So it's going down. We're definitely gonna see what these guys, especially with this top 10 list, is gonna do, and who's gonna go ahead and bring obviously the Lombardi Trophy home. With that, my good brother. We're
Who you
taking
got
these
tonight?
people. Tonight I got. You talking about the Chiefs?
Chiefs Broncos Thursday
I
night
got.
football.
I got the Chiefs by 3 touchdowns. Got the Chiefs by 3 touchdowns. Stop playing with me. Broncos are 1-4. Their number 1 corner is going to get traded midway through the season. He doesn't like being there. I wouldn't want to be there being 1-4. All this rain and rave about Sean Payne coming in to save the day. I still see the same offense. I still see the same wide receivers. I still say just boneheaded plays to where it's like, you guys aren't for real. So it's just, I think right now, and you're coming to play Patrick Mahomes in his own stadium in Arrowhead. Defense is coming off a game where they locked a very good wide receiver team down. I said this on Wednesday. So the defense is flown. Jones, ever since they activated Jones and paid him, I've seen a completely different defense from the Kansas City Chiefs. Why? Because that man makes a difference on 3rd downs. This is like I said, it could get ugly very fast. I got the Chiefs in this one big.
Hey, they say the Swifties gonna be in the stadium tonight. They say Taylor Swift pulling up. So you know Kelsey about to go out there and ball out on him one time. Yeah, I think of course, I got the Chiefs. Come on, bro. You know that. I'm going with the Chiefs. I'm excited to see. I got a question after this. Last little question. It'll be a nice little spiel. I'm excited to see this team tonight, honestly, because short week. You didn't beat them the last 15 times y'all didn't play. They have not won in Arrowhead, and I don't know when since Chief Keef was in O Block. That's the last time they probably won in goddamn in Arrowhead. Short week, so you don't have a lot of time to scheme them up and prepare for. You just gonna kind of go out there and call your type of game. It's a division game, so it's always gonna be tougher than a regular season game. I mean a regular game. Um, yeah, I got the Chiefs whooping their ass though. I'm excited to see if what these Bronco wide receivers do, cause bro, I like Jerry Judy, bro, but I think he in that pocket where what are you? People keep
No,
talking
he's
about you
he's he's in that pocket. He's in that pocket right now.
like
Like,
people
what's
keep
going
like,
on, bro? What's going on?
what is he doing? Like, what is he? He a number 2 receiver? He a number 3? Is he a good receiver in the NFL? Is he a route runner? Like, what is it? Because I be seeing all these off-season workouts and all these motherfuckers be doing all this. But bro, can you just run a slant and catch that bitch? Can you just run a dig and catch it and get some yards out there and get the ball to the ref and come back to the huddle and do it again? Can you just run a stack corner route and catch it 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, catch it, give it a little yak, and then go? Or you just one big play every 9 games? I want to see it. I'm tuned in to Mr. Judy. And it ain't nothing against you, my dog. I think you dope. But I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it, bro. But I got a question for you though.
What up?
We coming up into the trade deadline. Obviously, I think the trade deadline is in a couple weeks. We in October. I think the trade deadline ends at the beginning of November. What
Mm-hmm.
is a big trade that you see happen, or it ain't got to be a big trade, just a big trade or a trade, whatever, that you can see happening for any team to a specific team?
Um, I would say, because I'm mainly focused in the NFC North, and that's bread and butter for what majority of what I look at when it comes to personnel, players, and everything. There's a lot riding on this Vikings Bears game. I think not only player but a franchise perspective. Because if the Bears go ahead and lose this game, you seen what they did in the offseason. See, they went and got guys and do what they needed to do. But I think they're definitely going to go ahead and now be somewhere to settle where they do get another quarterback to come in. Granted, I know that Justin Fields played great, right? It's one game. What did he do prior to that? There's no consistency with him. There's no consistency with anything going on, let alone with him, but let alone with the offense. From a coaching standpoint, from whoever's play calling. So I think there's going to be a lot of things going on. There might be players and coaches. And then for the Vikings, right, if they go ahead and go 1-5, are they looking to go ahead and shop Kirk Cousins early to bring somebody in? Are they going to go get a quarterback in the draft, or they're going to go ahead and be active now and go get someone like Trey Lance, or go get someone, which they don't need to, because Kirk Cousins is the leading quarterback in everything right now. Granted,
Yeah.
he's what he's at, but this business is business. You know what teams, they don't care about you, right? They'll go ahead and ship you immediately because a dollar's a dollar. And they got to go ahead and put their best, supposed pieces where they think they need to be, where their money needs to be. But I think this is a big, you might see Vikings traded for something, or you might see the Bears after this game making some serious moves. Like serious moves. Like, all right, we're not going to be doing this no more. Boom. Someone's going out, someone's coming in. And that goes for either way. But I think that's going to be those teams are definitely going to be in the talks for trading to possibly land someone that they need that they feel is going to go ahead and get them in the playoffs consistently in the third. So it's a big game, but also I think those two teams are definitely going to be on the trading board or talk board to go ahead and figure out their future because you're both 1-4, and that's not good, especially being a team
Yeah.
that came from the playoffs last year. It's unacceptable. And then obviously with the Bears, you've been here they come again. We got Fields, dark horse win MVP. You guys are excited about last week. Having a heyday against the Commanders. But really, who are the Commanders? So we're gonna see what goes down in the divisional game where, shit's on the line. So I think this is definitely gonna be the two teams to kind of answer your question of who's gonna be in that trading and, wheeling and dealing to get their program where they need to be or franchise. So that's my
Okay.
little spiel on it. What about you?
I'm gonna go with the Raiders first. The Raiders play the Patriots this week at home. Then they play at the Bears, and then they play at Detroit, and then they play against the Giants at home. So that's like the next 4 weeks, and I think that's gonna be the trade deadline. I think it's the beginning of November. Um, if they mess around and lose to the Patriots at home, and mess around and lose to the Bears at Soldier Field, they're gonna take an L to the Lions in Detroit. And they say that they're trying to get something back for this franchise. I think I think the Lions should go out and trade for Max Crosby, defensive end for the Raiders. He from here. He from Michigan. Went to Eastern Michigan. Um, him and Hutchinson. Him and Hutchinson.
Whoa.
That'd be crazy. You really ain't got to pay Hutchinson for another year or two, I would say. And it depends on how Hutchinson continues to develop and how much of a dominant force he continues to be. But him and Hutchinson, two reckless guys off that edge in the run and in the pass, because both of them can run. They dominate in the run and in the pass, and they both playmakers that be trying to get the ball all the time. That would turn Detroit into a problem. And if I'm Detroit, which I want for them, you want a second? I give you like a second or a third or something like that, and to get them, because they're going to take on this salary. I'll do that. Another one. This kind of like a shocker too, though. I don't see the Giants winning no more games like that. Let me go back to that.
Hold the phone.
The Giants, they have they got the Bills on with that Sunday night. They got the Bills at the Bills. Then they play the Commanders at home. They play the Jets, which is in New York at home, and then they play at the Raiders, and then they play at the Cowboys after that. So maybe they win versus the Commanders. Maybe they win versus the Jets, but maybe not. Um, if I'm the Bills, I'd be calling the Giants, hey, y'all trying to give up Saquon?
But they
The
got
Bills should.
James Cook though. Why would they want to make
Bro, this is a 2 running back system. What you mean? Both of them can get carries.
True.
Both of them can get carries.
Get him for a low deal, give him like what, 8 mil 1 year, let's win a
No,
Super Bowl type stuff.
he already on a deal right now. And I'm sure he's gonna run harder and play harder for a team. Bruh, if the Giants injury list is crazy. I don't even know if Daniel Jones is gonna play this week. Waller not gonna play this week. They best offensive
What?
lineman played in the last couple weeks. And if I'm Saquon, why would I fucking come back to that? Why would I want to come back and run hard for that shit and waste more hits on my body and all of this and playing for a team that's, I'm not gonna say they trying to lose, but they ain't gonna be able to win. So I would be, if I'm Saquon, I'd be telling my agent like, bro, let's see if we can get to the Bills. The Bills are going for it all. The Bills are going for it all, bro. And they had the money to get something for, they had the money to pay him a little bit next year if they wanted to. Let's say they move off of, you know, uh, Diggs, which I don't know, because if you go all in and get Diggs, I mean, you go all in and get Saquon, you basically telling that whole team we trying to win, knowing they just lost a best linebacker, Matt Milano, the leader of their team. They just lost Tre'Davious White, the corner, all pro corner a couple years ago. They lost him. Von Miller haven't got back yet though. Von Miller is still a problem. Like don't think he can come back and change the trajectory of that defense. And they can just be an offensive team. Now you got two backs you can hand the ball off to that you have to respect. You don't have to respect Cook like that right now. But if you get Saquon, you're going to have to respect him. Period. But you also not going to be able to play one high safety versus, you feel me, Diggs and Gabe Davis and against Josh Allen. You're not going to be able to do that. So that him adding to that offense can change the complexity of how we view the Bills' offense if Saquon Barkley was traded to their team within a couple weeks. I think that makes them a better team. I think that, and I think they can win the championship now. I think they are one of those teams that's going to be fighting to go to the Super Bowl now. You add Saquon Barkley to that, where he's playing against 6 in the box, it can get nice. So those are my two trade pieces, ideas that can possibly happen. But we'll see.
No, I like that though. I like that little snippet there because that you never know what can happen in the league when them teams are down like that. Especially, we already said by week 2 you're going to go to Cancun. By week 5, if you're 1-4, changes are happening now. You thought the guy that you saw next to you in the locker room was going to be there. He was already gone at 5:30. So guys are moving, but no, I like that, and that definitely is going to be something that we are going to have our eyes open out on. Obviously, Twitter for us at Off the Top Show here. Obviously, Lip has his personal page. I got a personal page. You can go ahead and follow us on there. I forget to do this after every episode, but it's always good to remind because it's episode 80. But we're on all
80.
platforms. On all platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, personal pages, RJ Sheldon, obviously, Tony Lip's got his personal page, and Tony Lippett. He's going to have his Speak On It podcast come soon, which is incredible when he just breaks down nothing but basketball, and it's around that season. So y'all have a great Friday, man. Hopefully you had a great work week. Enjoy yourself this Good Friday. Enjoy yourself. Have a great weekend. Lip, take them out.
Hey, man. Dope episode today, man. All love. Drink y'all water. Hey, y'all be easy.
Absolutely. Minnesota Wild, man, we're getting cracking because I only got one team to root for. So we in here. All right, peace out, y'all.